Welcome to the making of video for my Metroid fan animation. I'll share with you some of the process and lessons I learned while working on this project, and we'll take a look at how the project changed along the way. This project started as a simple rendering test to try out the Redshift rendering engine in 3ds Max, and I figured a short Metroid-themed fan animation would be a fun way to do that. As I was looking for ideas, I got especially inspired when I saw the Ridley announcement trailer for Smash Bros. Ultimate. It looked like a quality bar I could realistically hit, and the style seemed achievable for me, so I decided to go for it. I initially wanted to stay under 30 seconds for this animation so I could focus on the rendering, while also making sure the project would be realistic to finish. Things started off in a pretty standard way. I gathered reference, sketched out a storyboard, then I got to work animating placeholders for each shot. From there, I built out the final character and environment assets, fixed up the animation, lit and rendered the scenes, and put it all together, adding fog and effects in post to create a final movie, at which point I realized I hated it and had to go back and make changes. I went back and made changes to this project quite a few times. I'll play a handful of the most significant revisions here so you can see how it grew and changed from the initial plan. So the top row is all previs stuff, starting with the rough sketch storyboard, just to get the idea rolling. In the center we have the block-in preview, which builds out the shots using placeholder characters and simple gray boxes for the environment. With the scenes kind of figured out, I did a staging storyboard to work out the fog and lighting to make sure you can clearly see everything you're supposed to see. The middle left video is showing what it looked like when I finished the project for the first time, but I kept noticing things I wasn't happy with, so I went back and made revisions every few months throughout the following year. At one point I rebuilt the whole project with all new lighting from the ground up, completely reworking some of the scenes and cameras, and I took the story in a totally new and more interesting direction, which you'll start to see branch off here in just a moment. I really like the volumetric light beams coming off the ball in this shot, even though they got cut in the end. There's a lot happening here. The older versions had the ceiling split open as Samus rises up, while the new version shows Samus interacting with the Chozo ghost. I like the cool alien look of the first redesign. You can see like a big bug shell and hive structures behind Samus, but ultimately I decided the story wasn't interesting enough, so I reworked everything from a generic creature confrontation into a more character-driven interaction between Samus and the Chozo ghost. I thought it just helped pull the viewer in a little more to what's going on. At the very end here, I made a final revision to improve the Guardian character that shows up to stop Samus from getting the upgrade. I rebuilt the credits sequence too. On the right you can see the new version, noticeably styled after the ending credits from Pacific Rim. The original credit sequence was a flat 2D animation style. I really like some of the hand-drawn effects, but some of the layouts just feel clumsy, and the new style really helps it feel more movie-like. Every time I made a new version of this project was because there was something I was embarrassed of that bothered me, and I learned a few lessons because of it. My first lesson was that the final rendering doesn't magically create a cool experience. I moved forward with a boring storyboard hoping it would become cool, but I should have kept trying different ideas until even the basic rough sketch was something I was proud to show to people. My next mistake was that I was designing scenes based only on what I thought looked cool, and my ideas were ending up looking bland. A talented friend advised me to first just take time to sit and think and write a bunch about the world and the culture surrounding my story, and then pull out a logical story and design ideas from that foundation. Taking this advice took me from a boring red cave to a misty cavern overgrown with alien creatures and hives, to a mysterious person defending a weapon upgrade, and finally to a more superhero-like Chozo Guardian. I think each step was a move in a more interesting direction for a Metroid-themed story. The final embarrassment that still isn't resolved is the Chozo ghost. I originally wanted to do a mesh-driven volumetric fire simulation with Embergen, but the animated mesh features were still in development when I was building this, and I couldn't find a reasonable solution at the time. I would love to go back and improve it once I get more experience with Embergen, but at this point it's time for me to just let this project be what it is and move on to other things. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I didn't really go too deep into the technical side of things, but hopefully it was kind of interesting anyway, and maybe helps you avoid a few headaches planning out your next animation adventures.